Hey, it's Higher, and in this tutorial, we are going to go over how to add a heads-up display to keep track of things like lives, rewards you've collected, all of that stuff. And we are going to go over how to set up coins and other rewards your character might want to pick up as you're going through your game. So let's get started by setting up a HUD. So a heads-up display is going to be something that sits in the top corners the entire time you're playing. Always visible to you, makes it really nice so your player can keep track of lives, coins, all of that stuff. We are going to set this up as a layer. So we're going to right click and add a layer at the top, and we are going to call it HUD, Heads Up Display. Now, we want this to be a global layer, meaning if we can just kind of type HUD on other levels and it will show up without us having to remake the entire thing. It's the best. So we're going to make this global. And then the other thing we're going to change is the parallaxing rate. So the parallaxing rate is how quickly this layer scrolls in different directions. Because we want this to always be stuck in the corners of our little gray box, we're going to set it to 0 by 0. So a parallaxing of 0, 0 is going to keep it just constantly in this gray box. It will never disappear. So the first thing I want to add to my HUD layer is going to be some hearts to show what my lives are for my player. So I'm going to create a sprite that I will call hearts. I'm going to click to add it. And I will just go in and find the image I like for this. If you are in my class, there's an awesome one inside of the Scene Multiples Game Jam folder under Lives. For this, if you want to get 0 through 6, so you'll click 0, hold shift, click 6, hold shift, hit open. This one has half lives added in. I don't want half lives, so I'm going to delete anything that's got a half life in it. And then you'll see down here, the animation frame of 3 has 3 hearts. The animation frame of 2 has 2 hearts. The animation frame of 1 has 1 heart. And the animation frame of 0 has 0 hearts. It's really important you put this in this order because it's going to make everything so much easier. It feels more logical to put it so that it's like 3 hearts, 2 hearts, 1 heart, 0 heart, because we read left to right. But having the 3 be at 3, 2 be at 2, 1 be at 1, it's going to be incredibly helpful. So we'll put this up in the corner. It's kind of small, so I do think I'm going to double the size. So let's go to 108, double the size of that. And now that looks really nice in that corner. I'm going to hold down shift, which lets me scroll back and forth. Sorry if you hear some crying. It's almost doggy dinner time and my chihuahua is losing his mind, but he still has to wait half an hour before he gets fed. So I apologize if there's crying in this video. It's not me. So I've got my hearts up here. I do want to come into, I clicked on the name of my game, Test Project here, and I do want to set my full screen quality to high because that's going to keep these from getting weird and pixely. Now on my sprite, it's really important in the animation that we set the speed to 0 so it doesn't actually play the animation. We're taking advantage of the frames in this. And we want our very first frame to be frame 3 so that it starts with 3 hearts. Then on our event sheet, we're going to get an event for every tick, which means the entire time the game is running, we want something to happen. So the entire time the game is running, we want to set the sprite's animation frame. Oh, we have to rename that. We want to set the frame to lives. You see how we have this little globe here? That's going to show that it's setting the animation frame to our global variable of lives. Let's rename this sprite to, I'm going to call it lives just so it's easy. We'll double check it's on the HUD layer and it is good to go. So when we hit play, now you can see in the upper right hand corner we'll have our 3 lives. When I die and I lose a life, it goes down by 1, 2, I've lost my 3 lives, and it looks like it tried to restart the layout unsuccessfully. So we're going to have to mess around with that in a little bit. This is an easy fix. because it's restarted the layout, it's every time lives get to 0, it restarts the layout. But because lives are still at 0, it's just forever restarting the layout. What we want to do on this is come onto system and have it reset all of the global variables as well. So it sets lives back to 3 and when we add coins, it'll reset that and everything. So let's just double check to make sure that's fixed. We're going to die 1, 2, 3 times. It should reset us so we can play again. There we go. All right, so we have our heads up display. We can add whatever we want to the heads up display. So let's add some money. We want our player to be able to collect some coins as they're going around. So we're going to add our coins as another sprite. So we'll double click and add a sprite. Again, I'm going to open up my sprite. You can also come in here, go to import animation. I'm pulling all of my stuff from the Kenny, which is all going to be files instead of by strips. But you can import these the same way we did the strips when we uploaded characters. So for my coins, I want to get both parts of, both parts of these. So I get this cool little, we're going to set it to loop. When I hit play, you'll see it looks like it's spinning in place. We'll delete the initial animation. We'll call this coin spin. All right, let's see how this looks size-wise in here. It's a pretty small coin. I don't think it's terrible. Let's look. I want to double this in size. So I'm just going to go to 36. And that should be a much nicer size. All right, so we're going to put the coin here. And it's just going to spin. When we jump over, you'll be able to see it. Oh, the coin you can see is moving with me. I added it to the wrong layer. This is the problem once you add the HUD. Because it's the top layer, everything tries to go to the HUD. So we're going to fix that by coming onto the coin, selecting layer 0. When we hit play now, we should see that it's just sitting where I put it. There we go. But unfortunately, nothing happens when I run into it. I want to be able to collect some coins. So we need to add to our player code. We're going to say when our player collides with the coin, then we want that coin to destroy itself. We want it to disappear. So we're going to destroy, and we want to give our player a coin. So we need to make a new global variable. We're going to call it coins. We start with 0 coins. So after we destroy it, we're going to add to the global variable of coins by 1. So let's double check this. When we hop over, the coin should disappear and our variable goes up by 1, but there's no way for me to know how many coins I have. So we need to create a HUD display for our coins. So I'm actually going to make a copy of this coin sprite, and I'm going to rename this one HUD coin. Oops, I promise I know how to spell HUD coin. And then I am going to double click in it. I only want the front facing version. I don't want this one to spin. And it's not been added to the game yet, so because we copied it, so I have to click and drag it onto the game. I'm just going to put it up here in the corner. It's on the HUD layer. Perfect. Now I want some text next to it to display how many coins I've collected. So I'm going to add a text box now. The text box comes with some pre-filled text. I'm going to change its initial. I'm going to change it to 100 just so I can see really well how large everything gets. I can change the font to whatever I want. There's so many fun font styles available. I kind of like fantasy. You can really do whatever feels right for you. I'm going to go with fantasy just for fun on mine. And then I'm going to make it bigger because that's kind of small. Let's go 20 and see how that looks. Oh, gotta save. You may have just seen I had my auto save pop up down there. So I'm going to put this right where I want it. That looks good. It's a good size. It's visible. I can do things like change the alignment here. I can change the way it wraps, which means goes down to the next line. Tons of stuff for me to mess around in here, including having it be read aloud. But we don't have 100 coins. Right now we have 0 coins, and after we get this coin, we have 1 coin. So we want to, on our every tick, you know how we have the animation for lives? We're going to add to that for the text. We are going to, the entire game, we're going to set the text to coins. We want to do the global variable version of coins. You'll see there is no quotation marks. If I put quotation marks around it, it's going to set it to the word coins. So I don't want any quotation marks. I just want it to be this global variable of coins. When I hit play, make sure you hit save before you hit play. When I hit play, you will see that my text is now set to however many coins I have. So I have 0, and I get 1 coin here. It's now set to 1. And that is how we collect coins. Now, having 1 coin to collect is fine and dandy, but chances are good you want more than 1 coin for your player to collect. The way we do that is not by creating additional coins up here. It's by making copies of this coin that already exists so we can reuse all the same code, don't have to do anything fancy. You can make a copy by holding down Control and dragging, and it creates copies of the coin with all of the exact same code in it. It will destroy each coin individually, so you don't have to worry about it destroying everybody. It'll make it on the same layer as what you're currently on. It's like copying the code without having to copy everything. So I have 3 coins. When I fall and die 3 times, you will see that those coins get reset, and oops, I can collect them again. Because my layout isn't very large, I am going to delete those 2 for now, but that's how you create additional coins. You hold Control and you drag. You can do that for anything you add. Like in this game, let's say later on in the game, I'm going to have a door where I can collect a key. Let's add a sprite for the key. And we'll get it so that the key shows up in the HUD layer. So I do know I definitely want my key to show up later in the game. So here's my key. That should hopefully be a good size. I'm just going to put it here for now. I'll go fancy later. We'll say, just like we did here, when the player collides with the key, then we need to rename the key, just like we rename everything. When the player collides with the key, let's rename our key so we know it's key. And our text we're going to rename to coin text, just so it's easy for us to remember. When we collide with the key, this time I want my key to move up into the HUD. I want to see that it's in the HUD. So let's make a HUD key just like we made a HUD coin. We're going to rename this one HUD key. We need to drag it out. Let's make this one a little bigger. Let's double it, 36 by 36. Put it up here. We're going to tell this one, you're invisible at first. We can't see you at all. It's not until we collide with our key that we destroy the original key, so it disappears, and we turn our HUD key visible. All right, so we're going to just test it out to make sure we've got a way to collect some rewards and have them displayed in our heads up display. So come across, I'm going to collect my key. Oh, you'll see that key was invisible, and it's because I added it to the HUD layer. This always drives me nuts. You can find some luck sometimes by putting the HUD below. That's not what I wanted to do. Hit Control-Z to undo stuff if you ever make a mistake. You can put the HUD below while you're adding and then move it back up when you're playtesting. Locking the HUD doesn't usually work. It can just be a little odd. So let's hit the play button, see if our key works, and then we'll be in good shape. After this, in the next tutorial, we're going to go over how to add enemies and get the enemies to do things like drop the key. Oh, and there it is in the HUD layer for you. So now you have your key and you can go use it somewhere. So in the next tutorial, we're going to go over how to add enemies, get them moving, patrolling areas, and get them to be destroyable so we can kill the enemies and have them drop things. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to save your project. Save yourself the heartache. Bye.